Hello, it's Lynn Watts here. And today I want to talk about goal setting again. But because January is usually the time of year when all of us start thinking about setting goals for the new year, or setting an intention or a resolution, January is a good time to talk about goals with students as well. But you may find that you have already established goals with students. In other words, you've talked about goals, you've talked about how to set goals at the beginning of the school year, and now halfway through the school year, students are well into the process of planning and achieving goals. So, what do you do in January in terms of goals? Well, I think it's a good time then to take a look at the goals that students have already set and reflect on those goals and how they're doing. So, there are really three basic questions that you want to ask. The first one is simply, how's it going? All right. So, are you making progress on accomplishing your goal? Perhaps you've already accomplished your goal, in which case it is time to set a new goal. But just taking a look at the progress that students are making and why or why not they're making progress. That's the first question. The second question is, what have you learned so far from setting this goal? So this is a good time to take a look at the process of goal setting, the particular goal that a student has set, and what they've learned. Perhaps they've learned that they set a goal that was too big or unrealistic, or maybe it's too small. Maybe they already accomplished the goal and they could have done a whole lot more. Maybe they've discovered that this really isn't something they want to achieve. So there's a lot of different ways to look at goals. There's so much that we learn. And the process of goal setting isn't just so we can accomplish those goals, it's also so that we can learn a lot about ourselves and about goals and achievement. And then the final question is simply, what is your goal going forward? So, do you want to continue on the same track that you're on? Or perhaps you're not getting the kind of results that you wanted to, and you need to plan something different. Maybe the way that you're approaching the goal is not working. For instance, if you have a goal of achieving a certain grade in a class and you're not even getting close, then perhaps it's time to talk about, what is your approach? How are you studying? Why is that not working? What kind of grades are you making? What seems to work better than other things? Perhaps you need to talk with the teacher or other students and how they study or how they're accomplishing goals. There are all kinds of different ways to approach a goal and think about it going forward. But so often we set goals in a certain time frame. We then take a look at whether we've achieved the goal or not, and then we just kind of throw up our hands and say, well, it didn't work. This approach is a much better way to think of goals because it involves reflecting on the goal, looking at what we've learned from setting the goal, and how we want to adjust the goal and the process of accomplishing that goal going forward. So, goal setting is a really important technique, strategy, I think, to teach students, but there's a lot more to it than just the initial process of setting a goal and then measuring at the end whether or not they accomplished it. So I hope that is helpful as you begin this new year and talk about goal setting. Thanks for listening.